Congratulations, you have passed step one. You're so exciting, even crying. You are telling your family, friends, and so on. You are taking a break because you have been working so hard for so long and you finally made it and you are done with that test. After a couple of weeks or even months, you decide to begin your step two preparation. So you have this mindset with a step one that you're looking for a book like first aid, like a Bible that have all the information that you question mark need for USMLE step one, at least a guideline. However, you realize that first aid for a step two is not the same as a step one. And there is no such thing a book like a step one, and the only book that people said is closer is Born Beyond. However, this book is new, so has a good feedback, but it's not like first aid, like first aid for step one. You heard a bunch of books, but to be honest, it's not like the one that you're looking for. So you ask for seniors, people that has been studied for a step two or even done with a step two, and they tell you you only need UWAR. And you're like in shock, like I only need one question bank. And you're like, I'm kind of confused. I only need one material. So you don't believe it and you start looking for more resources since you are really adjust to have a bunch of materials available. And you realize after a couple of time or not time, after a couple of research, that a step two, to be honest, doesn't have that many resources available like a step one. A step one has a bunch of resources available, but a step two doesn't have that many resources. You hear the more popular and so on, but it's not the same amount of resources that is step one. And you're like, oh my God. So you don't have the same amount of resources for step one. And also the amount of time that you need, question mark, for taking step two is shorter than step one. And you're like confused what I should do. I'm just gonna take a step two questions from your word without any previous beside your step one knowledge for sure. You don't have more like guidance, just you were. And you start questioning about, so how should I transition from a step one to a step two? And you're kind of like, what is the next step? So welcome to this video. I feel it's kind of late because I have a long introduction and I just said welcome to this video. Today we're going to talk about how to transition from a step one to a step two. So stay tuned and let's jump to the video. Understand the exam format. Familiarize yourself with the structure of USMLE Step 2 or Step 2 CADE. Include clinical cases and scenarios and pay attention more on the application of medical knowledge in patient care. Number two, review clinical knowledge. Strengthen your clinical knowledge as a step to see case, access your ability to apply medical concepts in real life scenarios. Use resources like UWAR, some people like Ambus, some people like Online Med. Divine Intervention is a really popular podcast and there's like a couple of more resources. So at this moment, you know what works for you or not. So if you like more podcasts, guys, so Divine Intervention is going to be good resources. If you like more video lecture, some people like online math, some people don't. So it depends on your study method. Some people like to try more than one QBank. So beside eWords, some people like Ambus. So it's up to you and your study method related to your resources. If you have the opportunity to, clinical rotations, if it's possible, engage in clinical rotation in US to enhance your practical understanding, real world exposure will help you answer clinical vignette more effectively. Anki Desk. If you're like Anki Desk teen, I feel utilize Anki flashcard for a step 2 CK. It's a good action. There are a bunch of pre-made decks available, or you can create your own based on weak areas flashcards, like create your own flashcard or a pre-made desk. So it's up to you because I know people that don't use Anki for step 1, don't like it, and don't use it. So it's not like if you don't use Anki, you don't have to use it. It's up to you. However, Anki is a good tool for a space repetition and stuff, so it's highly recommended. So now we are in the middle of this transitional part. So first, chill out. It's going to be a new adventure. It's going to be a new goal and also new challenges. So first, chill out. Remember, your mental health is hygiene. So take care of yourself. Pick up your resources, which one best for you based on your study method. Remember, you're going to have a lot of background noises, as always. But to be honest, stay to be like focus and pay attention on your old pathway. So I know there's a lot of background, as always, like people studying 24 hours per day. It's not possible. It's not possible. So pay attention on your own journey. Choose, as I said, your resources, the one that best for you, and step by step. Maybe in the beginning, you won't be available to study a certain amount of hours, and you're gonna upgrade the amount of hours that you study. Get ready with your snack. And remember, since you study from the scratch, step 2, you are in the beginning state, in a transition state. If you start with question banks from the get-go, you might get a bunch of questions wrong. And remember, you are in the beginning, let's say in the beginning stage. So if you get something wrong, work on it and your weakness and step by step. I feel that's it for this video. Remember to just start this. I want to emphasize this part. It's a transition from step 1 to step 2. You are in the beginning stage for this test. Don't expect to get 90% done in every question block. And remember, all the question banks are learning tool, especially in the early stage that you are. So see you next video. Bye.